A very good morning to you all. My name is Lisa Mangaldas, and on behalf of the BSE, I would like to invite and welcome you all to our program commemorating the launch of Institutional Trading Platform on BSE Small and Medium Enterprises segment. May I please request everyone to please settle down and take their seats as we are about to begin with today's proceedings. Before we begin, as per the tradition at the BSE, I request everyone to please join me in standing for the national anthem.
जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंधु गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा तब शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तब जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे।
Today, the BSE is pleased to be launching Institutional Trading Platform on the BSE SME segment. The new platform will enable startup companies and small and medium enterprises to list themselves on the exchange without initial public offering. In addition to allowing SMEs and startups to raise capital, BSE SME ITP would provide easier entry and exit options for informed investors like angel investors, venture capitalist firms, and private equity firms. And the platform offers better visibility and a wider investor base while offering tax benefits to long-term investors. It is so with great pleasure that I invite our special guests today to join me at the dais. Shri Rajeev Kumar Agarwal, whole-time member, SEBI. Shri S.V. Murlidhar Rao, Executive Director, SEBI. Shri Chandrakant Salunkhe, Founder and President, SME Chamber of India. Shri Vijay Kalantri, President, All India Association of Industries. Shri Ashish Kumar Chauhan, MD and CEO of BSE Limited. Shri Balasubramaniam V, Chief Business Officer of BSE Limited. Shri Nehal Vora, Chief Regulatory Officer, BSE Limited. And Shri Ajay Thakur, Head of Small and Medium Enterprises at BSE Limited. At the BSE, we always like to start our programs on a note of hope, gratitude, and positivity. So I request our esteemed guests to please light the auspicious lamp before we begin. I now invite Shri Ashish Kumar Chauhan, MD and CEO of BSE, to give his welcome address.
Very good morning to everyone present here. It's a pleasure to have with us Shri Rajeev Agarwal, whole-time member, SEBI, Shri S.V. Muralidhar Rao, Executive Director, SEBI, Shri Chandrakant Salunke, Shri Vijay Kalantri, Mr. Ajay Thakur, Mr. V. Balasubramanian, Mr. Nehal Vora, friends, ladies and gentlemen. This morning marks the start of a significant event. The institutional trading platform at BSE will go live today with an aim to provide a capital raising opportunity to the SMEs without having to go through the extensive IPO process. The new platform for institutional investors will provide an exit opportunity for existing investors while helping small and medium companies as well as startup to tap new investors. The new platform will provide better visibility, wider investor base, and greater fundraising capabilities to SMEs and startup companies. BSE is a market leader in the SME category. Even as the IPO market is going through hard times, 33 out of 46 companies listed on BSE SME platform are trading at a premium above their offer price. In addition to the 46 listed companies, another 15 companies have filed their draft red herring prospectus and are awaiting the exchange approval for IPOs. The total market capitalization of 46 companies listed is rupees 3,650 crore, and average fund raised by the companies is to the tune of rupees 9 crore. BSE has been at the forefront to bring the latest products and services to meet the aspirations and growing needs of the investors, and can now boast of an unmatched technology and speed which allows seamless trading on its platform. Asia's first bourse has also become its fastest domestic trading venue, as its Bolt Plus software reduces trade time for its members by 98% from 10 milliseconds to 200 microseconds. That is almost no time taken between order matching and confirmation. Bolt Plus is capable of handling 5 lakh orders per second. Yesterday, BSE also launched the equity derivatives on its new platform. From the old platform of Bolt, it has now gone to Bolt Plus. With a focus on delivering value to traders, BSE offers 99% lower transaction costs in comparison to other exchanges. The membership costs at BSE have also been slashed for investors' benefit. If India is to attain its aspirations of double-digit growth and give employment to millions of people, much of this has to come from the SME sector. Post the success of BSE SME platform, the launch of institutional trading platform at BSE SME will make fundraising a reality for SME without the IPO process. I thank all the dignitaries for joining us today and everyone here present here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shri Chauhan. Next, I'd like to introduce Shri Vijay Kalantri, President, All India Association of Industries. Shri Kalantri is an industrialist with over 40 years of experience in textiles, financial leasing, and infrastructure development. He is actively involved with various industries and government bodies. He serves as the Chairman and Managing Director of Dighi Project Development Company Limited, Dighi Rails Infrastructure Limited, Dighi Port Limited, and Balaji Infra Projects Limited. He is the President of the All India Association of Industries and the Vice Chairman of MVIRDC World Trade Center. I now request Shri Vijay Kalantri to address the gathering.
Thank you. Mr. Chauhan, Mr. Agarwal, my friend Salunke, Mr. Balasubramanian, and others. The statistics which Mr. Chauhan gave are very impressive. And, you know, we have been talking about SME and the alternative type of funding for SME. This is one of the area which opened up. And I remember in the same hall when All India Association of Industries and Bombay Stock Exchange organized a program with Mr. Salman Khurshid when he was a Minister for Corporate Affairs. And BSE was the first one to take initiative in saying that, yes, we will start SME exchange very soon. And finally, they started. As everybody knows the importance of SME, that 40% of GDP, 60% of employment, 8,000 products. What they need is timely and adequate funding, and this was one of the area which was a gray area for, and the competent and good SME company, this is one of the things which we have started today trading, but otherwise also, as he said, more than 46 companies are listed and more are going to list. But what we need to do is that SME has to show results, and in times to come, we have to make the market feel that you invest in SME, it is worthwhile investing rather than only investing. So I feel that my friends in SME sector will also realize that when you raise funds, you also have more responsibility than towards the investors. Of course, investors will believe in us when we deliver, and I think that's the need of the hour. But I wish all the best, and I fully support the BSE for their initiative, and thank you for this.
Thank you, Shri Kalantri. It is now my pleasure to introduce Shri Chandrakant Anand Salunkhe. Shri Salunkhe is the founder and president of the SME Chamber of India, as well as several other organizations that support and empower companies in the small and medium enterprises segment. He is the founder, chairman, and managing director of Macro Group of Companies, which is involved in the manufacturing of packaging machinery, packaging equipment, industrial products, as well as exports, marketing, distribution, franchising, and in importing capital goods, new technology, and innovative products. I now invite Shri Chandrakant Salunkhe to address the gathering.
Good morning, friends. Shri Agarwal, Shri Chauhan Sahab, dignitaries on the dais, and friends. SME, on behalf of SME Chamber of India, let me congratulate Shri Ashish Kumar Chauhan ji for taking initiative to start this institutional platform, especially for the SMEs. And that platform will be useful for without IPO. Friends, we are all aware that SMEs are the growth engine of Indian economy, playing a very vital role by providing large employment. But ultimately, they are also playing an important role for generating employment, generating entrepreneurship also. And recently we had a very good conference at the Gujarat, Ahmedabad, Gujarat SME Manufacturing Summit. And Ashish Kumar ji found that many SMEs are not getting or not enjoying any facility from banking sector, even though they are having the turnover of 50 crore, 100 crores. And this will be a good platform because currently the financial market is very costly. The interest rate is very costly and cannot be affordable for the SMEs. And the SME Chamber of India is putting efforts for the generating and channelizing the finance and investment of SMEs. All of us must be happy to note that the SME Chamber of India put efforts to start this small SMEs exchange during the tenure of Mr. Damodaran. That time could not happen, but when Mr. Bhave, CB Bhave took a charge, I insist him to look into this matter and to start this platform because this will be very, very useful for the SMEs to enter in capital market. So I congratulate again the BSE. You know, the BSE's tagline, the experience anew. So this is a new experience will be for SMEs. And I will assure Ashish Kumar ji that at least 50 companies next 3 months I will provide him. They will start this IPO facility. Thank you.
Thank you, Shri Salunkhe. It is now my pleasure to introduce Shri S.V. Muralidhar Rao. Shri S.V. Muralidhar Rao is the Executive Director of SEBI, where he oversees departments of investment management, foreign institutional investors and custodians, and collective investment scheme. Prior to this assignment, Shri Muralidhar Rao was Chief General Manager at SEBI. I request Shri Rao to now address the gathering.
Good morning, whole-time member Rajeev Agarwal. I am MD CEO of BSE Ashish Chauhan and other distinct dignitaries on the dais. Very good morning to all of you. I must thank BSE for giving an opportunity to be part of today's function. And this is a ITP, which we call it Institutional Trading Platform. It's a platform for listing of and trading of specified securities issued by SMEs, including startup companies. And it is accessible only to informed investors, either individuals or institutions, and the minimum trading lot is ₹10 lakhs in this platform. So the companies listed on it shall not make public issue of securities. These are the main conditions which SEBI has put in, and based on these, regulations have been framed. The idea behind this ITP was twofold. One is that to facilitate the SME and the startup companies to mobilize the capital. And second is that providing an exit opportunity, an exit option to the investors, that informed investors, like angel investors, then venture capital fund, and the PEs from these companies. So we have taken inputs from all the market participants in framing these regulations, including the stock exchanges. But I must give credit to my whole-time member, so, Mr. Rajeev Agarwal, who was instrumental in framing these regulations from start to finish. And another issue is that, just share with us, Ashish, what he generally gives me regular feedback on number of companies, SME company listed on it. And it is, I think, as on date, there are 46 companies, which is the highest number of SMEs listed on BSE out of all the stock exchanges. Ashish, I hope that you will give me the similar feedback on these IT companies listed on ITPs. So, and I must thank BSE and also wish BSE all success in its endeavor to take this platform forward. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you, Shri Rao. Next, it is with great pleasure that I introduce Shri Rajeev Kumar Agarwal. Shri Agarwal is a whole-time member of the Securities and Exchange Board of India and is responsible for policy formulation, regulation, and enforcement in the securities market in India. Prior to being conferred this position, he was Commissioner of Income Tax, where he was associated with several important investigations relating to the securities market. He also served as member of the Forward Markets Commission, and I now invite Shri Rajeev Kumar Agarwal to give his keynote address.
Good morning to everybody. Mr. Salunke, Mr. Kalantri, Mr. Ashish, Mr. Rao, Mr. Balasubramaniam, Mr. Nehal Vora, Mr. Ajay Thakur, and the distinguished guests. It's always a matter of great pleasure for me to be in these historical premises and interact with a gathering as distinguished as this. As mentioned by other speakers, the SME sector is very, very crucial sector for the Indian economy. We have got probably the biggest crop of entrepreneurs in the world, where I would say every citizen has got some idea. If you go to the rural areas, if you go to the outskirts of the city, small concepts are running. I would say even a panwala is an entrepreneur. So if you include that kind of entrepreneurship, I would say India has got the biggest crop of entrepreneurs and has got a great future. Coming to the contribution of the MSMEs and SMEs to the economy, there is no need to mention that they are very crucial to fueling the growth rate in the economy and creating employment. They are contributing 40% to the exports. They are contributing approximately 45% to the manufacturing output. And in the last decade, there has been a substantial growth. In the number of SMEs, they have tripled. In the employment, total employment in these SMEs, that which has also tripled. And the investment in these SMEs, that has gone 4.5 times. So friends, this is a sector which is, I would say, is very, very crucial to the future growth of India. As far as SEBI is concerned, The role of SEBI is, and this is the role which SEBI has taken on itself, to provide a platform to these SMEs for raising cheap capital through HNIs, through P funds, through VCFs, etc. That was the idea behind starting a separate SME segment in 2010, when both the exchanges launched a separate SME segment which required much lesser compliance as far as the ICDR is concerned. After initial hiccups, now there has been a traction, and BSE has done, I would appreciate the effort of the CEO and other officers who were involved in the process, which they have put in to make this platform work. At the moment, I think 46 companies have been listed, and the market valuation of these companies, the market cap of these companies is approximately 3,600 crores. Am I correct? Yeah. So this is giving a very, very optimistic picture for the future growth of the, this platform. After starting this platform, after gaining experience from this platform, a need was felt that there are certain SMEs and the startups which are doing very well. And the management of these startups and the SMEs is also very straightforward. They believe in transparency. They will not mind making disclosures, but they want better visibility for enabling themselves raising more and more capital through private placement. Therefore, we conceptualized that let there be a separate platform where such kind of startups or SMEs may be listing without an IPO. Because no doubt, IPO is a big burden and also involves some regulatory cost. But the problem was that our regulation says that no company can get listed without an IPO, because we have to take care of these small investors also. Therefore, there is a full regulation, ICDR regulation, which need to be followed, which makes it necessary, or the SER regulation makes it necessary that a IPO should be made before the company gets listed. Then we thought over it. We thought, okay, our main concern is the small investors. Let them ring fence. Let there be a platform which is basically an institutional platform, where the participants are the institutions and the HNIs. Then our worry is not that much. So a small investor is ring fenced. Then we can be slightly more adventurous in making the regulatory compliances less and reducing the cost of listing. Somehow, we consulted the whole industry. We involved many experts, and there was an expert group which was set up. And I must appreciate the effort of this expert group. They had very wide-ranging discussions with all these stakeholders, the financiers, the SMEs, and all kind of intermediaries involved. And they came out with the idea that this kind of platform is feasible, where we will not be compromising too much with the corporate governance. We will not be compromising with the disclosures, but we will be in a position to provide better visibility to these as well-running SMEs, which will and this platform will also serve as a training ground for these SMEs to come on the main board at a later point of time. With this intention, we finally came out with a regulation, and we call it institutional platform, SME platform. So this is part of the ICDR regulation now. I am very happy that SEBI is today launching this platform. Of course, launch itself is a very great event, but I would like to be very frank that after the launch, the real journey starts. And a lot of effort will be involved in making the SMEs aware of the existence of this platform and the benefits of this platform, and also making the various category of investors like Ps, VCFs and all, that they will also be benefited by this platform. This is not something which will work contrary to their interest, because not that they will have their value will get reduced. If more transparency is there, probably they will have a much better a much wide-ranging portfolio and with the less effort involved, because when a PE fund or VCF is investing in any kind of company, a lot of research is involved. Now they will have certain companies which will be making a lot of disclosure, so that burden of due diligence will also be less. So I think this will be a win-win situation for the issuers and the investors like PE funds and VCFs and HNIs. And they will also get an easy exit route. And there will be there will be a basket of investors to which the issuers will have an access to. And when a PE fund wants to exit through this platform, there will be other PE funds, there will be other VCFs who will be able to replace them. So I think this concept, and we have made a very wide-ranging discussion from the industry. I must admit that this idea was lapped by the industry. They said, yes, this is the kind of platform which was needed. That was the initial reaction, but I don't know. We have to keep our fingers crossed. The BSE will have to make a lot of effort. I have advised them to have some kind of awareness programs in the clusters where SMEs are there in numbers. So we will have to sensitize them about the existence and the benefits of this platform. That will be very crucial. I sincerely hope that this platform will work and will provide benefit to the, provide intended benefits to the issuers as well as the investors. I wish BSE great success as far as this platform is concerned. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I now request Shri Ashish Kumar Chauhan, MD and CEO of BSE Limited, to present mementos to our special guests to commemorate this proud occasion. Now we'd like to share with you a few of the BSE's most recent videos. The first is the BSE SME TV commercial, and I'd let them play it for you. It's a great product, and we'd like to share this video with you.
BSE SME, turning small companies into big ones. The new mobile app from BSE. Now take BSE wherever you go.
They also played for you the BSE mobile app TVC, and I'm proud to announce that this product has already had 1 lakh users in its beta phase. So it's also a wonderful product. And now I'd like to share with you the BSE history video. So please sit and watch this 6-minute long video.
Established in 1875 as the Native Share and Stockbrokers Association, the BSE is the oldest stock exchange in Asia. The history of the BSE is the history of its people, the many men who founded the exchange, and the many people who took the torch forward and built it into the premier institution that it is today. There aren't many institutions in the country which can boast of having a 125-year-old history. Over this lifespan, the BSE has had good times and bad times. Adversity and the way those at the helm of affairs coped with it is what makes BSE today an institution that is vibrant and dynamic. The passing of the Companies Act 1850 paved the way for stock trading in India. But this activity could not pick up in the absence of a large basket of stocks available for trade. The number of shares available was few, and people did not really have large investable funds for trading in stocks. Brokers were a handful of only 6. There was no trading hall or stock exchange building, and whatever little trading that took place was carried out in the open, under the balmy shade of a banyan tree. The American Civil War, which resulted in an acute global shortage of cotton, changed all that. Lancashire mills had to turn to other sources, including India. As cotton was exported from India in large quantities, its price soared. Surat cotton, for example, went from a price of between 3 to 5 pence per pound to between 20 and 24 pence. Thus, between 1861 and 1865, export of cotton resulted in an unusual influx of wealth in the form of bullion amounting to 850 million rupees, much of which landed on the beckoning shores of Bombay. Naturally, this huge inflow of wealth sought investment opportunities. Such opportunities sprang up spontaneously and brought with them a new generation of visionaries who, being in the right place at the right time, played their designated role. Premchand Roychand, who, by virtue of being the first Indian broker to read and write English, found himself eminently suited to lead the equities market in Mumbai to a new level. He floated or helped float several companies which sought equity investments. Initially, these shares commanded huge premiums, an offshoot of the paucity of investable outlets and a surfeit of funds. With the increase in activity, the number of brokers increased to between 200 to 250, as did their prestige and clout. When things cooled down at the end of the American Civil War, the organization build-up of the BSE started. At first, an informal association was created in between, and in 1887, the brokers formalized the arrangement through an indenture spelling out Articles of Association of the Native Share and Stockbrokers Association. In July of 1875, 318 persons became, on payment of a princely sum of 1 rupee as entrance fee, members of the Stock Exchange Mumbai. They passed a resolution resolving to form an association for protecting the character, status, and interest of native share and stockbrokers, and of providing a hall or building for the use of the members of the association. It wasn't until 1887, however, that they could formalize their resolution by a trust deed, which was the foundation of the present Bombay Stock Exchange. Men of great wisdom and vision pioneered the growth of the BSE. Shri Chunilal Motilal, a signatory to the original trust deed and the first president of BSE, saw the exchange through its most embryonic phase. Shri Shapurji Bharucha, who was knighted in 1912, was the second honorary president of the BSE. He was responsible for setting up rules and regulation of the exchange. Shri Kikabhai Premchand, the third president of BSE, was knighted in 1931. He later became the Sheriff of Bombay. Shri K.R.P. Shroff, who rose from being a teacher to the presidentship of the BSE, created an indelible impression and used his sterling character, impressive appearance, strength of will, and compassion for the benefit of the exchange. In 1916, he became a member of the exchange. In 1920, a director, and retained presidentship of BSE for 43 years between 1923 to 1966. Shri Firoz Gigi Boy also belonged to that generation of stalwarts. He played a stellar role in molding the Bombay Stock Exchange to its present status. He was instrumental in developing the Indian stock markets in general and BSE in particular. It was to commemorate his contributions, first as secretary of the BSE and later as its chairman, that the present stock exchange building was named after him.
I would now like to invite Shri Balasubramaniam V, Chief Business Officer of BSE Limited, to propose the vote of thanks.
So very good morning to all of you. I think we have got 2 minutes before the bell ringing ceremony starts. So I will make it very quick. So at the onset, I would like to thank Shri Rajeev Kumar Agarwal, old-time member SEBI, and Shri V. Muralidhar Rao, Executive Director SEBI, Shri Chandrakant Salunke, Founder and President SME Chamber of India, and Shri Vijay Kalantri, President of All India Association of Industries, my colleagues at the dais, and all the dignitaries present here, and thank you for joining us on this occasion. I'm very sure that the BSE institutional trading platform, under the direction of SEBI, especially what Mr. Rajeev Agarwal said, that with various investor awareness initiatives, etc., I think we'll make it a grand success. And of course, we also look forward to support from Mr. Salunke. He already promised us 30 listings on the SME ITP space, so we'll definitely look forward to that also. Of course, I would like to thank all the broker members here, the investment bankers, and also the market makers who are present here for coming in and supporting us. Once again, thanks a lot.
As our dignitaries make their way to ring the opening bell, I request you to count down with us. 4, 3, 2, 1. Many thanks to all our special guests this morning for their inspiring remarks, and a sincere thanks to all of you for being such a wonderful audience and for joining us this morning. Have a wonderful day ahead. And please join us for breakfast.